Hello everyone, thank you for tuning into this next video in the Ask the Artist series. Now I must apologise if you watched the or subscribe to the actual list of the Ask the Artist stuff, because I haven't done any for a year. I think it's probably last August. Really sorry. Anyway, look, I've got some brand new questions now, and I'm going to see if I can answer them. So what I'm going to do now is, it is a question, but I want to try and address something in terms of attitude towards what you do, and it might be a bit controversial, this, so I'm not going to apologise for that. I won't swear or use obscenities in it. I might get slightly animated because it's going to be quite a touchy subject, but it is safe to watch at work. Let me just say that. So if you're watching this on a work computer with the sound up, it's okay. I'm not going to swear, I promise. All right. So this is the kind of roundabout question, and it actually stems from feedback on social media, which is always great to have, and it also stems from emails that I do get from artists. Now I would just like to say from the get-go that I'm always very, very flattered to get emails off people, so if you're one of those people, thank you so much, and I genuinely do mean that. You know, if you're sat there thinking, oh, I really like what you do, or how you're doing what you're doing and surviving as an artist and making a living, and Adrian behind the camera who's doing this, you know, we both earn a living from it. So I'm terribly flattered by that. It's a great thing to have, all right? But, and this is the whole point of this short video, I'll tell you what absolutely annoys me beyond belief is when I've put pictures out on social media or on the site or whatever it is, and it's of this space, which we're going to walk around because I like walking around it anyway because I'm filled with really nice things to look at, is people saying this. They say, oh, you're so lucky to have a place like that. I wish I had one. You're so lucky. I'm going to put my list down. Right. I am not lucky. I promise you now, I am not lucky. I'm standing here in 6,000 square feet of what was once, nearly 7 years ago, I think, maybe 7 years ago, was a derelict space. I can't even begin to tell you how bad this space was when I first got it. I looked around for a studio. I started with very small studios, very small amounts of money per week, but I had to fund that. I had a job. The job was utterly terrible and horrendous, and I hated it. And it wasn't paying me much money, and I basically just didn't sleep. Look, I'm not going to go into my life story. There's no point. I'll put a link down to my history page if you really want to go and have a look at it. So if you're viewing this on YouTube, which hopefully you are, there'll be a link to the history page. Go read it. But look, the bottom line is this. This has been an absolute wreck for 2 or 3, 4 years even. And as I started to take money, I've started to do it up. But having a place like this is not about luck. And I get really, really angered by people who say that this is all born of luck. I've had no luck. I've had to negotiate leases. I've never done that in my life before. I had to quit a job with no money to live off. Never done that before. I had to be so committed to my own self-belief that this was actually going to do something and this was going to be my livelihood, that I was willing to give everything up. And when I mean give everything up, I mean a social life, because that just stopped. Didn't have another half, rented accommodation, job that I didn't like. You know, there's no luck in there. That's like starting from the absolute sort of the bottom I can go and working my way up. And the only two things I've got is relentlessness and determination, and the fact that I will not let anybody tell me that I can't do this. That's the whole point. So having a place like this, look, it's not about luck. There is no luck involved in this. I made the phone calls, I sent the emails, I negotiated a lease, I did all that kind of stuff. I started a limited company, I found an accountant. AD came along in the business when the business could sustain that, and we've been doing it ever since. But all this, none of this is born out of luck. I'll tell you what this is born out of. This is born out of the fact that I have a problem here and I need to find a solution. Or if you like it, I liken it to like a ladder. So you have a problem down here. Maybe today you've got issues with one of your materials, or something you're doing with your paint, or maybe a problem with canvas, or you haven't got an email back from a customer, or you know, if you are working and doing art as a spare time hobby but want it to become a full-time hobby, Maybe you've got other issues regarding, oh, I don't know, making a payment on something, or that you haven't got enough time. So look, much of this, right, the studio, the space, the operation, the website and everything, I've already said, look, relentlessness, determination, they're two really good things. But look, actually the secrets to this are not about luck. The secrets are very, very simple. That is having a problem and finding a solution. And the bit in between is whether you can be bothered to find the solution, right? So, you know, me and Adi, we face those 15, 20 times a day, quite happily. Problem, solution, and that's all it is. So all this is just based on, can I find a solution to my problem? So think of this as a ladder, which is how I visualize everything in my days. In fact, there's plenty of ladders up there. I have a bottom rung of the ladder. Now get this, you might want to rewind this because this is the good bit. You have a ladder at the bottom, you have the problem, and up here is your solution. And in between there's a load of rungs, and each rung on that ladder is one step to finding the solution. Sometimes there's just one, sometimes there's 15, 20, 30, doesn't matter. At the moment we're trying to do something with a big block of resin, which is just the most complicated thing to do, but you know, that's probably got 50 steps in it. But I have a problem here that I need to turn this block of resin into something, and up there is my vision of what it's going to look like, and in between are a load of steps, and that's all everything is. Problem, solution. Don't think about luck, don't think about, oh, I'll never be able to do it. Do you know what? Let me put this into perspective, all right? If you think this is grand, so 200 yards away is Damien Hirst. Literally, his factory, enormous place. His stuff sells for millions, globally recognised artist, whatever you like to think of him, it doesn't really matter. He's made it work. So when I now look at that, my perspective, along with Adi's, goes, well, why shouldn't we be like that? Why shouldn't we be like that? And this is about mentality, ladies and gents. It's having that mentality, because I think, as Steve Jobs once said, which is about the only thing I like about Apple, the people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones that actually end up doing it. Now, I'm not saying we're going to change the world with art. I'm not going to suggest that at all. But our dreams are big. Why on earth should that be any different to something that sells for 100,000 or 250,000 or whatever? The art market is so ridiculous. Why shouldn't it if someone's willing to pay that money? So if you're sat where you are thinking, oh, I can't do it, oh, I'm so miserable, I'm so sorry for myself, just stop. Think about what it is you need to do and get on and do it. You know, Adi showed me a video from Shia LaBeouf. What did he say? Do it! It was like, just do it! Oh, it's just absolutely brilliant. We'll find the link and we'll post it. But he's got the right attitude. Look, there is only one attitude to have, and that's you either do it or you don't. If you don't watch Star Wars, go watch Star Wars and listen to what Yoda says. You know, we all liken him to this little Muppet made out of whatever the Muppets are made out of, operated by Jim Henson. But my God, he's got it right. You know, now I'm going to look stupid because I can't remember the quote. Yes, it's something like, try not, do or do not, there is no try. I think that's the actual quote. I won't do it in the voice. Anyway, Adi does it better than me. Yeah, genuinely does all the impressions better than me. That'll be a good video, actually. We'll get Adi on the impressions. Didn't know that was coming. So look, let's put this into context. This all around, and this operation, and selling globally, and you know, I shift paintings, and I paint, and I'm doing all these wonderful things, and I'm doing it independently of galleries, I might add. This is just me and him, and a website. That's it. This is not born of luck, ladies and gents, and it never will be. This is born of relentless hard graft, day in, day out. Yesterday, I was in here and I was painting, and that's a Sunday. This morning I was up at 6 a.m. I genuinely was, actually, mate. And I was writing 500 words for a painting, which I've now put online, before I had my breakfast this morning. Now, that doesn't mean to say I have to work like an idiot and work 90 hours a day. I'm not suggesting that. But be smart about it. Be willing to solve your problems. You have to problem solve. If you can't raise the questions to start with, you'll never solve the problems. So when people get in touch and they say, can you give me some advice? Well, I'm like, advice on what? Baking a cake? Ballet dancing? What do you want advice on? This is too broad a thing to really give generalized advice on, but you can change your attitude, you can change your approach. And let me guarantee you this, Everything is about perspective. We're all on the same map. All on the same map. The difference is where you choose to stand, because everything looks different. So if I suddenly look that way, my view and perspective is different to looking that way. And yet all of us exist on the same map. So you can change this, you can change the way you behave, and you can change absolutely everything, art related or not, in your world if you just stand and look from a different direction. But if you cannot, one, identify the questions you need to ask, and B, find a solution or an answer to them, give up. But just that's the point at which you don't go, oh, you're so lucky, which is where we came in on. Anyway, if you do like this video, I've had a bit of a rant and a rave, and I am going to do a few more of these because it's just it just really grinds my gears that people think this is, I just get out of bed and roll into this, or I've got someone bankrolling us, or that we just fall out, you know, at the back of a limo and, you know, get in here and just swap a bit of paint around and then go to the pub for 4 hours. I wish. You've no idea the work that goes into it. Anyway, so that's this little rant and rave. I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to give us a subscribe, which should be over here somewhere. Some links down below. Go click on them, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.